It is exactly 4:11 a.m. local time on January 1st, 2026. The Kerch Strait is wrapped in a blanket of freezing mist, a thick gray shroud that blurs the line between the black water and the winter sky. To the naked eye, the Crimean Bridge looks invincible. It is an engineering marvel, an 11-mile chain of reinforced concrete and steel, illuminated by thousands of sodium floodlights, standing defiant against the turbulent currents of the Black Sea. It is more than a bridge. It is the physical manifestation of Russia's grip on Crimea. On this New Year's morning, the Russian holiday patrols are at their peak. The airspace is crowded with invisible energy. Long-range S-400s sweep the sky. Pantsers guard the horizon. Electronic warfare units scream into the spectrum, blasting noise to drown out GPS signals. To the Kremlin, this is a fortress. It is the most defended piece of civilian infrastructure on the planet. But to the Ukrainian intelligence officers watching from hundreds of miles away in a darkened room in Kyiv, it is not a fortress. It is a house of cards waiting for a breeze. They know that no amount of concrete can stop a threat you cannot see. Inside the command bunker of the 31st Air Defense Division in Kerch, the air is warm and smells of stale coffee and ozone. A Russian radar operator stares at his screen. He blinks, rubbing his eyes, fighting the fatigue of the graveyard shift. He sees an anomaly. It isn't a clear alarm. It isn't a solid red dot indicating a missile or a fighter jet. It is a cluster of faint, scattered ghosts appearing and disappearing on the edge of the radar horizon. They flicker like static. He reaches for the intercom, his finger hovering over the button. He hesitates. The winter storm outside is creating massive waves. It could just be sea clutter. It could be atmospheric interference. "Command, I have intermittent contacts," he says, his voice unsure. He thinks it's a glitch caused by the weather. He is wrong. He is looking at the opening move of a decisive strike. At exactly 4:52 a.m., the stakes change dramatically. A massive Russian freight train rumbles onto the northern rail span of the bridge from the Taman side. It is a heavy logistical beast, 60 cars long. The steel wheels screech against the frozen tracks, sending vibrations down into the concrete pillars. This isn't a passenger train. It is a rolling arsenal. Its cargo hold is not carrying grain or coal. It is carrying 1.1 million pounds of 152mm artillery shells and Grad rockets destined for the southern front. To the train engineer, watching the snow fly past his windshield, he is just hauling cargo. He is thinking about his schedule, about the warmth of the station on the other side. To the Ukrainian mission planners, he is driving a mobile volcano. The timing is not accidental. Ukrainian intelligence knows the schedule. They have mapped the logistical patterns for months. They know exactly when this train will be crossing the most vulnerable structural point of the bridge, Pillar 145. The trap is set. The train is moving at 40 miles per hour into a kill zone that has already been calibrated to the millimeter. The train is the fuel. The bridge is the fireplace. And the match is about to be struck. 5:02 a.m. The operation enters its terminal phase. High above the strait, the first layer of the attack begins. A swarm of low-signature aerial drones penetrates the outer perimeter of the Russian air defense zone. These are not the killers. They are the distraction. They fly erratically, deliberately pulsing their transponders to create radar bloom, making small plastic drones look like large attack aircraft on the Russian scopes. The Russian defense network reacts exactly as predicted. The S-400 systems lock on, their massive radars slewing to track the bombers. The Pantsir S-1 batteries spin their turrets skyward, their autocannons tracking the fast-moving targets. The operators in the bunker are screaming now. They are focused entirely on the air, shouting coordinates, preparing to intercept what they believe is a massive air raid designed to overwhelm them. "Engage! Engage all targets!" the commander shouts. Missiles streak into the sky. Tracers cut through the fog. But while every Russian eye is looking up, the real death is creeping just inches above the waterline. Beneath the noise of the aerial battle, a wolf pack of unmanned surface vehicles, advanced marine drones loaded with high explosives, is cutting through the waves. These are the sea babies, the ghosts of the Black Sea. They are coated in radar-absorbent material. In the choppy sea state, amidst the white caps and the spray, they are invisible to standard coastal radar. To the sensors, they look like just another wave. They are not rushing, they are stalking. They align their approach vectors. They communicate in short, encrypted bursts. The target is ahead, the massive concrete legs of the bridge rising out of the water. The train is overhead, its thunder masking the sound of their engines. The sky above Kerch lights up with explosions as the Pantsir missiles intercept the aerial decoys. The Russian crews cheer. They high-five each other. They think they are winning. They think they have repelled the attack. They have emptied their ready racks, shooting at plastic toys. They are now reloading, vulnerable and distracted. Below them, the marine drones enter the final terminal phase. The lead USV activates its thermal camera. It looks up. It spots the massive heat signature of the train's locomotive passing directly above, glowing against the freezing steel of the bridge. The synchronization is perfect. The hammer is cocked. 3, 2, 1, impact. The first drone slams into the base of Pillar 145. The warhead, packing hundreds of kilograms of high-yield explosives, detonates at the waterline. The physics of the blast are devastating. Because water is incompressible, the force of the explosion is directed inward, into the concrete. The hydrostatic shockwave shatters the reinforced concrete foundation. The steel rebar inside the pillar snaps like dry twigs. The pillar buckles. But the real horror happens above. The shockwave travels up the pier at the speed of sound. It hits the tracks just as the ammo cars are passing. The tracks twist. The train derails. The massive freight cars, packed with explosives, slam into each other. The friction of steel on steel sparks a fire. And then, thermodynamics takes over. 500 tons of ammunition begin to cook off. It is not a single explosion. It is a sympathetic detonation. One shell explodes, the heat and pressure triggering the shell next to it, and the one next to that. The train turns into a chain reaction of destruction. A fireball erupts, expanding outward, engulfing the rail span and the road span next to it. The temperature at the core of the fire reaches thousands of degrees. The heat is so intense it warps the steel girders of the bridge. Steel loses 50% of its structural strength at 600 degrees Celsius. Within seconds, the girders turn soft. They can no longer support the weight of the train. The rail span folds first, groaning under the torture. Then the road deck sags. With a sound like the earth splitting open, the section collapses. The floodlights dip into the black water like a sinking city. The bridge doesn't just break, it drowns. For Moscow, the most disturbing part isn't the fire. It is the silence that follows. Inside the command bunker, the radar operator stops shouting. The room goes deadly quiet. He watches the radar returns from the bridge sector go flat. They aren't jammed. They are just gone. The bridge is operationally dead. The Russian command and control system is paralyzed. Confusion reigns. They are debating what hit them. Was it a Storm Shadow missile? A submarine? A sabotage team? They cannot conceive that they were outsmarted by a swarm of boats and a timetable. While they argue, Ukraine moves to Phase 2, area denial. A second wave of FPV drones arrives, hovering over the burning wreckage like vultures. When Russian repair engineers try to approach the site on tugboats to assess the damage, they are driven back by precision strikes. The bridge is not just broken, it is held hostage. No repairs can begin. The wound is kept open. The strategic implications are immediate and catastrophic. The Crimean Bridge was a logistical artery. Now it is a tourniquet. The loss of 1.1 million pounds of artillery represents weeks of lost combat capability for the Southern Front. Every shell that burned on that train is a shell that won't be fired at a Ukrainian soldier in Zaporizhia. Every rocket that exploded in the Kerch Strait is one less strike on Kherson. In modern warfare, logistics collapses precede operational collapses. An army without ammo is just a collection of targets. The Russian army is now forced into a nightmare scenario. They must reroute supplies through the land bridge, the occupied territories of Mariupol and Melitopol. But this route is not safe. It is a single highway and a single rail line, well within range of Ukrainian HIMARS and partisan sabotage teams. The transit time for ammunition doubles. The fuel consumption triples. The convoys will be hunted day and night. The Russian war machine begins to suffocate. The flow of supplies slows to a trickle. As the sun rises over the Kerch Strait on the first day of 2026, the smoke from the burning train marks a new reality. The image is symbolic. The pride of Putin's infrastructure projects, twisted and broken in the water. Crimea is no longer a safe rear area. It is a siege. Parts of the bridge are still standing, but its function is gone. It is a monument to a failed defense. Ukraine didn't try to win this battle through brute strength alone. They didn't try to match the S-400 missile for missile. They redefined the rules of the game. They used noise to distract the eyes and silence to deliver the knife. They turned Russia's own logistics against it, using the train as the bomb that destroyed the bridge. Russia is now launching constant, expensive fighter patrols over the strait, burning millions of dollars in jet fuel every hour to hunt for ghosts that are already gone. But the threat isn't just drones anymore. It is the realization that no amount of concrete, no amount of radar, and no amount of S-400s can stop an enemy who understands your system better than you do. The Russian generals will write reports. They will blame the weather. They will blame NATO. But deep down, they know the truth. They were watching the sky while the water killed them. Because in modern war, a bridge can be rebuilt, concrete can be poured, steel can be welded, but time cannot be recovered. What do you think? Was this the final blow to Russia's logistics in the south, or can they rebuild this lifeline under fire? Tell me in the comments below. I read every serious analysis.